from Mediaites. Laura Trump teases president has UFO speech ready and waiting after Obama admits aliens are real. So it's confirmed?
Your podcast that you've discussed with the president is UFOs. Do you think that he's about to make an announcement about UFOs? Because President Obama was just on a podcast talking about how he believes in UFOs and hinting that he saw something when he was president.
The compression's killing me.
Well, I said this in my podcast,
Not
too.
us,
What's
bro,
funny
her.
is we've kind of asked my father-in-law about this because we're like, well, what do you know? Because Miranda, we all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. And so that, of course, led us to believe, Eric and I were like, oh my gosh, if he won't even like fully tell us, maybe there's more to it. And then I have just heard kind of around that, I think he's actually said, I think my father-in-law's actually said it, that there is some speech that he has that I guess at the right time, and I don't know when the right time is, he's going to break out and talk about, and it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life, so to speak. I just, I look at things from the perspective of the vastness of our universe. And I'm a kind of a numbers person. I don't get nervous flying because the odds are very much in your favor flying. The odds that anything will happen to you are far greater in a car than they ever will.
We get the rest. But I think there is a decent probability that Trump is, so I believe Trump does have a speech. I believe that the speech, in all probability, has to do with just standard military technology and national security threats. But I believe there's probably a decent probability, this could be like 0.02 or something, that it is actually about extraterrestrial intelligence. And the reason why I entertain this as actually possible, meaning like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000, is that Donald Trump, or I should say, the media and our culture has for some time now been floating that aliens are real. Yeah. And no one cares. Like the Obama statement was potentially a trial balloon. Obama says, of course they're real, but no one cared. Then he walks it back and says, no, I just meant that they're probably real. I think we're at the point where if there really were aliens, the government could announce it and no one would care. They would be like, oh, wow, well, we were waiting for that.
Well, Michael Schellenberger reported like 2 years ago that there were multiple whistleblowers who not only had recovered craft, but also human biologics. And everyone was just like,
yep.
Okay.
I mean,
so I think you're right.
I'm interested to find out if they're, what the government knows. I'm not particularly convinced that there is something without some kind of evidence.
I don't think they'll ever admit it publicly because one of the concerns, and I asked some of these people who are big into UAPs about it back when we used to have them on Rising, they would say that the U.S. government and the military would be worried about tipping their hand if they had some kind of technology that they assumed was extraterrestrial, but actually was some other nation's more advanced technology than the U.S. has. And so they would never want to admit that.
Yeah. What was the tweet where it was like, if they ever confirmed there were aliens, the Chinese would have recipes the next day? We don't want that to happen either.
We recently did a video at the Daily Caller where we sent out Edgar the Puppet, and we did green card tests for immigrants around D.C., and we asked them a variety of like very American questions, like where does the shortstop stand point on the baseball field? But we had a sign that had a cat, a dog, a hot dog, and I forget what the fourth thing was. And it was point to the objects on this picture that you're allowed to eat.
And what do they point to?
Well, actually, the Chinese girls that were interviewed had a really good sense of humor, and they just pointed at all of them really quickly and started laughing.
It's like, yeah, we're joking.
Yeah, but my favorite one, though.
Kidding.
Yeah. My favorite question, though, was asking them to pronounce Louisville. Ooh. And they all said
Louisville.
Louisville. Right. Louisville.
Yeah. I've always said, because this has to be said, I didn't say this at the top of the show, we are at the 25th anniversary of the death of Dale Earnhardt.
Yep.
And I think that should be if like tears don't swell in your eyes.
The Intimidator.
Oh, this is no laughing matter. This is no laughing matter. If tears aren't swelling in your eyes thinking about Dale Earnhardt, then I think you should be deported, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everyone. I don't care where you were born.
I mean, look, if you're getting...
If you're asked what your favorite sport is and you say anything other than baseball, it's just, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, any soccer fans.
Hockey. Oh, you better believe you're gone. Right back to Canada.
The SQ needs to be answered, the soccer question. What are we going to do with it? we going to do with these people?
Get rid of them. Send them.
Soccer is I look at soccer like the ow my balls of sports.
Yeah.
Because I remember I don't watch it because it's stupid, and I like baseball and to a lesser extent football, but baseball, if I'm going to watch a sport, it's going to be baseball. But I remember when I was at Vice, we were watching the World Cup because like Brazil had got that blowout where they were crying.
Yeah.
And then people in the stands were like losing their minds. And the thing about baseball is it's like there's strategy. They got, they're the commentators talking about like, oh, they're going to switch the pitcher out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're talking about the stats and there's all these numbers and we're like doing math and writing things out. And then there's like with most sports, you've got the fantasy stuff where people are calculating stats. And then soccer is like, he's running left. Then he's turning around. Then he's turning around again.
Run
now another
fast, kick ball. It's literally a sport for monkeys.
Also,
It's just back and forth nonstop. And I'm like, this is
I hate
boring.
it.
Soccer is the easiest way to explain to people the insanity of like the American immigration system. Because if you look at the U.S. national team, our soccer team, there's a player, he's like the midfielder, Yunus Musa, and he was born in New York City, grew up in England. He moved when he was like a month old.
Yeah.
And when they ask him why was he born there, he's like, yeah, my mom was like on vacation in New York City and had me. And it's like really a 9-month pregnant. Like,
You heard about
was just
the-
vacationing in New York
No.
City.
But you saw
tourism.
Yeah.
you saw the recent reporting about the Chinese birth like citizenship factories.
Yeah.
Where it's like hundreds of babies per week or whatever are born here and shipped right back to China.
Yeah.
So that way they can move here as citizens.
Yeah, and the only benefit is like, okay, well, Crush is like in the math Olympics, and that's really it. Same thing with soccer. It's like, okay, let's maybe bring some Brazilians in for like tourism purposes.
Did you guys ever hear the conspiracy theory that the gray aliens are just Chinese people from the future?
That's not.
That's not a joke.
It's not a long.
It's
not a long-
literally not a joke.
Yeah.
There are people who, like, online, there's conspiracy theories that the reason the gray aliens, like, they've got big heads and they're gaunt and they have big eyes. And people believe, they believe that in the future, China takes over and it's a bunch of Asians and they go back in time and they're wasting away their bodies because they use technology and they're actually just Asians.
Well, because there's that point. Someone made this point. It's a very salient point. You never see pregnant Asians. Like they just
stay
kinda,
home.
They
Is
just
that
kind of
true?
spawn.
They hide
just
until-
spawn. Yeah.
until
There's, like,
winter?
spawn points maybe.
Spawn point.
Well, one guy
Well,
on
they're not
Twitter,
allowed to
he
get pregnant.
posted
Hey, you're not
very
supposed to.
frequently.
You're not allowed to know that.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm like treading. I might get killed on the way.
My
home or something.
spawn point was in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually just a giant statue of Godzilla, and you just sort of appear there one day, and you're 18,
I was going to say you're
crazy.
fully clothed,
fully clothed adult.
Yeah.
because we live in a simulation, and the Asians are in control.
Well, because one guy posted on Twitter, this was recently, he posted a picture of,
Actually,
of a
the
pregnant
Koreans.
Asian woman, and everyone was like, "At Grok, this is AI." This because you don't.
So actually, who is they? Well, it's Koreans,
Right.
and it's actually South Koreans. They control everything.
And it's so true. Try to debunk that. You can't.
The Koreans.
We had a great talk with Kangmin Lee last week about that very thing.
That proves it.
That the Koreans are ruling everything.
Yeah, he's deep.
He's
not a South Korean.
very, very Christian as
My
well.
question is, though, are aliens
A lot of
speaking to
Koreans
people in their brains with this DMT laser experiment where people are seeing the data?
Well, those are Koreans.
And then they're doing bubble cymatics in a lab somewhere, and they're all surrounding this giant bubble. And the aliens are speaking to us through this bubble by sending either
You got to talk into the microphone, brother.
or low frequency. I know you could hear me, but I'll be more clear. Yeah. So are we like adapting that psychoanalysis and manifesting it in like bubble cymatic form? And that's how we're like communicating with the aliens in Alpha Centauri. So they're giving us information, but they're not here. But they're here. It's like if you call me, it's like I know you're not here.
And it's always so interesting that these massive, like, nefarious government programs are always in the most innocuous locations. Like this bubble cymatic that you're describing is probably outside of like St. Louis.
Yes,
know?
that's right.
Like,
It's
because you always expect them to be
fountain.
like, like
a
in
public
Virginia,
fountain, yeah.
but it's always like in a random location. Like this bubble cymatic is probably like, I don't know,
at the
outside
top of
Fargo.
the arch.
Stargate.
it's an East
Only
St.
from a satellite at a certain
The arch
angle
is
can
the
you
portal.
see the language.
Is the arch the portal? I've heard that.
right. So.
I've heard if you pass through, you don't come out.
Well, it's not on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be on.
I just start to think there's aliens.
This is how the
man.
Cardinals are performing that season. Yeah.
I'm starting to think that the aliens are real, dude. They're just
Why?
I will state,
I don't know, it'd just
I'll
be
throw a
weird
wrench
if
in
they
things.
weren't.
I'll state with 100% certainty there are no aliens.
Why?
I think they're demons.
I think that basically means the same thing, though.
What?
Like it's just it's extra non-human intelligence, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
higher frequency.
The aliens and demons, in my mind, are interchangeable in concept.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
and angels?
Yeah.
They could be working together.
Yeah.
The angels and the
Like
demons.
a galactic war.
Yeah, there's an Ancient Alien episode about that.
About the angels and demons being
yeah,
friends.
could be. It's like when you have that
aliens
one-
and demons, yeah.
like one
This
of
is
your
getting
buddies is,
heretical very quickly. I'm uncomfortable.
Is it
Well,
the-
Ian's here, so
if your buddy's a dick, you're still going to work with him because he's your buddy. That's like So angels and demons,
They're
I don't.
not
I
buddies,
for the
though.
record,
don't think that's correct, Ian.
For posterity, because my pastor tends
On
to watch
Ash
this
Wednesday,
show,
no less.
I do not think the angels and demons are working together, and I don't think there's just no aliens. There's no like. It's just,
The
not gonna happen.
interstellar travel is the stars are way too far apart for me to buy it. Like, I mean, look, it's possible that there's physics that we haven't discovered. There's things that we don't understand. But if
I would say it's
Einstein,
absolute.
well,
It's
yeah,
absolute. There's physics we haven't discovered.
yeah, okay, so fair enough. But if Einstein is right, like the speed of light isn't just the speed of light, it's the speed of causality. It's the speed of cause and effect. Like it takes 8 minutes for the light from the sun to get to the earth, and if the sun disappeared, not only would it take 8 minutes for the light to get here for us to know, but it would take 8 minutes for the effect of gravity to get here too. So the speed of
Yeah,
light
we keep
isn't
going around.
Yeah, the speed of light isn't just the speed. It's not just the speed limit of light. It's the speed limit of everything.
Yeah, but-
and the distances are so vast.
Guys, you know what Star Trek got wrong and Star Wars and all these? Warp drive. Warp drive is some 1950s BS Einstein garbage where they're like, what if we use, like some kind of dense energy to warp space-time and then we move in between space-time like a golf ball moving through a large hose that you squeeze. And it's like, that's 1950s stuff. You want to know how we actually do it? We need to find the markers that signify our coordinates in the universe, in the data, and then we just backspace, 139, enter, and then just appears on the other side of the planet.
That's Yeah, that's literally, I think, how you do it.
ley lines.
Crude way to say it, but what you would do is you'd map the matrix of where you want to go, the XYZ axis of what you'd map in this cube of reality. What is in every point in this box? What it is, how much of it there is, and where it is, and you map those three things.
You just needed to edit the value in the code set.
You can
but I've
recreate
also-
that value locally. Yeah.
I've had this anti-teleportation position for a while now because you would get arrested for exposure because when you teleport, you would be naked because your clothes are not a part of you.
No.
If it could teleport your clothes with you, then how do you separate your shoes from the ground? Then you just teleport everything with you when you
No.
When you teleport,
you
someone
don't
would be
understand.
naked when you show up. I don't want to do that. I would get like
The universal data set has your equipment on your body as one thing
But how can it separate my shoes from like my?
because they are different values.
But how does it know?
Because in the universe, the Tate value includes a subset of items that the universe is distinct from
But how can it differentiate the shoes?
because they're two different data files.
I see.
It's like saying, how can I have a music video from, Men at Work and from Britney Spears both on my computer at the same time? How does it know? And it's like, because there's a start and a stop to both of them.
Yeah, it would have defined boundaries.
Ian, would
between-
you still be okay with teleporting places if you would teleport there and arrive naked?
Oh yeah, dude. I thought that was happening anyway. I'm.
Yeah, but
I was
hold on.
aware
By that virtue,
in.
then all of your gut bacteria, all of the that concept doesn't work because there are things inside your body that are not connected to your cells.
I need those.
There's
you
a
need a-
difference
so-
between inside and out your body, and just because something's in
So-
your stomach doesn't mean it's inside your body.
I need
And so, or a part of your body. And so the argument would be that, okay, well, if it's in your body, then it goes with you. Then I'll just eat a shirt. I will stuff it in my mouth.
right.
Life hack.
You know what I'll do? I'll get like a very thin Mylar jumpsuit, roll it up super tight, put it in my mouth, teleport and into like an alley, and then pull it out. And I would wear that very thin Mylar suit until I can go find some real clothes.
There you go.
I think you could code the Mylar to go with you, but then you could also code and arrive in a different outfit than you left in. I think.
Right.
You know what I love is that in Star Trek, the lore is actually that when you get beamed up, you die.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Really?
Yeah. And then your body is reconstituted from memory, and it's just different. It's just different.
Instead of the Canadian Maid program, should we do that? Be like, you guys can volunteer to go one-way teleport. We don't know if you're going to survive when you get there, but we
That's
think
a
it's going to
good
work.
idea. Yeah, that was Alex Stein's proposal.
I mean, the Maid program's pretty dark. At least this gives them a chance,
Maid program is extremely dark.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.